The Chicago Bears had a number of players return yesterday in practice that were injured, and that's a good sign for the longevity and as we lead towards the regular season. But before we get into that, we got 3 preseason games, with the first one coming up tomorrow, and Ben Johnson's already announced that Caleb Williams and a number of starters will not play in tomorrow's game. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means. Plus, it is Friday. That means it is mailbag day here at Chicago Bears Central, so we're going to dive into your calls and voicemails. We're going to get into all that plus more right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. The first thing I want to attack is that in tomorrow's game, Caleb Williams isn't playing, and that's perfectly fine, right? Ben Johnson saying basically, what do I need to see from Caleb Williams in a preseason game, which I love for that, right? He said this: do I need to see Caleb Williams in the preseason? No, I do not. I see him every single day in practice. I love Ben Johnson. I really, like, a lot of this just comes down to, I just love Ben Johnson's attitude. I love the mode that he's in. I love all of that. So him confirming that Tyson Bagent is going to get the start against the Cleveland Browns on Saturday shouldn't be a surprise in regards to that one. He did also say the plan is for him to play the first half, in the case Keenum and Miller Moss will both see action in the second half of the game. So this is it. When you already look at the number of injuries the Bears already do have, why risk it, right? So you got guys like Kobe Bryant, who's going to miss the majority, if not the entirety of the season. Luther Burden's not going to be playing in any of these preseason games. Montez Sweat is still out. Braxton Jones is out. Cam Lewis is out. Like, all these things, even though some of those guys returned to practice yesterday, you're not going to risk it. Health is a crucial and critical thing for the Chicago Bears team. And because this is a team that has aspirations outside of just getting some regular season wins, this is a team that's really trying to go the distance this season. So why would you even put yourself in a situation to even risk it with your starters? This is what good teams do. And I know that for the Chicago Bears, we haven't always been the best teams. And so those things, when you look at it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is the Bagent baddies' time to shine, right? Like, for the yearly guys, this is probably the only team they're going to see Tyson Bagent really, this season. Let the Bagent baddies have their moments. But I do think in this game, too, you're looking at opportunities that guys are going to have to take a step up. Malik Muhammad is going to get a lot of reps. Guys like Jordan Vandenberg is going to get a lot of reps. Logan Jones is going to get some of those as well. Roschon Johnson, we talked about, he's going to have a chance along with Salvin Ahmed, right? You got guys in the wide receiver room like Jade Walker is going to get an opportunity. Kaden Davis, who's been a standout. So this is an opportunity for a lot of these guys to show this Bears brass, this coaching staff, this team, what they can bring and the depth that you have here. Depth is a really big, important part of the team. And while I know it's not the most exciting headline to, have your guy and Caleb Williams and your starters out, this is an opportunity to see your depth. And some of that depth is going to be important as the season goes on. It's going to be important for scheme and things like that. So that's really what you look for. This is where the football heads, right? The guys that really get into the X's and O's and love the game of football. It's not about the names. This is where you see some of those guys at. And this is where you get your preseason darlings. And it's not to say that you're still not going to see some of the starters you are, especially guys that are in position battles. You're going to see some of Austin Booker. Probably going to see some of Dio Odingbo. You're going to see some, even if guys like Javon Dexter may take a couple of snaps. They're going to be some of those guys that are in there because we do have, things that we need to work out. But overall, you're not going to see a lot of the starters, and that's perfectly fine because we're at for the first time in a while for the Chicago Bears. This is it's not a lot to be told in the preseason. A lot of what we're looking at now, of course, you got the left tackle battle. You got some other things going on, the nickel battle now with, of course, Kyler Gordon still out. But outside of that, you're looking at getting these guys healthy. You're looking at getting these guys ready because we're trying to win some regular season games. We're trying to not only get back to the playoffs, but take it a step further. What that last win did not get us, that's where we're trying to go. But with that said, let's talk about some of the guys that stood out in yesterday's practice, even though it wasn't open to the public yesterday. Number one, Malik Muhammad, who now has gone from being in that nickel slot to playing the opposite side of Jaylon Johnson with Tyrique Stevenson unavailable. And this is something that we kind of expected. If Kyler Gordon wasn't hurt, right, this is what this this preseason and training camp would have been about. It would have been Malik Muhammad and Tyrique Stevenson. And now with Tyrique Stevenson unavailable, it's now thrust Malik Muhammad. He's gotten some snaps on the opposite side of Jaylon Johnson, getting that cornerback 2 snaps, and that matters because versatility is how young defensive backs stay on the field, right? You're going to get targeted early. It's going to happen there. But now if you're looking at Malik, when you look at how they've already played Malik Muhammad, he's played at the nickel. He's played at the outside corner. He's played in dime packages. He's been used in run support. He's been used in pressure packages. This is what we've already seen in training camp for him. Now, it doesn't mean he's excelled in all those areas. It doesn't mean that they're going to trust him to do all those things once the regular season starts. But it does show that that Dennis Allen and this defensive coaching staff has already looked at Malik Muhammad and the versatility he could bring to this team and say, hey, we want to try this guy out to see what he has here, right? So when you look at the bigger picture of things, Kyler Gordon's still unavailable. Cam Lewis has dealt with the injury. Jaylon Jones has dealt with the injury. Tyrique Stevenson wasn't at practice. So the Bears have needed people at every different level of that. And every time Chicago has needed somebody to step into a different role, it's been Malik Muhammad who's gained more and more opportunities as this gone on. So if injuries are what's opening the door to Malik Muhammad, hopefully he's thriving in those, and his performance is going to be the reason why the Bears keep leaving that door open for him and to use him in different areas. So that's what you love to see as well. Next up, Kaden Davis has started to become somebody that's almost impossible to ignore for the Chicago Bears. Now, I still think the most likely scenario for him is probably practice squad if everybody's healthy, but 72 yards, Tyson Bagent hit Kaden Davis on the first play of the situational period, and that's it. It's gone in regards to that, right? Kaden Davis seems like a guy that right now is on a practice squad spot, right? That's it. A week ago, that was the question. Is Kaden Davis going to earn a practice squad spot? It seems like that answer has been an emphatic yes. At the bare minimum, he's going to be on the practice squad. Now, the question becomes about, can he force his way onto the final 53-man roster? That's what these preseason opportunities could potentially do for him. Significant catches from Tyson Bagent and from Caleb Williams over the course of the last week or so, right? Also, he's showing some special teams value in regards to that too. If he continues to create separation at the levels that we've heard that he's created separation at and avoids mistakes, this is a guy that, for the wide receiver room and as much depth as you want there and as much depth as you already have there, you got Luther, you got Rome, you got Cleve Raymond, you got Jade Walker, you got Xavion Thomas. You now add guys in like Kaden Davis who can add another level to that, along with your tight ends who are also going to be involved in the passing game and your running backs. It is, right? Camp production matters for players like Kaden Davis. Preseason snaps matters for a guy like Kaden Davis. Now he has to show that he can do it against the other NFL players, not just on there, and that's it. Eventually, when somebody keeps making plays every single day and you stop calling, you stop calling him a camp darling and you start looking at him as what level of NFL player he can be. And that's the question in regards to that one. Now, also one of the things that came away from training camp yesterday was the Bears left tackle battle is not dead. It's not dead. Kieran Amagaje got the first crack with the first team again yesterday, which is there. Jedrick Wills is rotating in with him also. And Braxton Jones made a return back doing individual work on the sideline. Seems like they're going to bring him along a little bit slowly. No need to rush him at this point. But, Braxton is still probably the favorite to land the starting left tackle role. But like I said, a couple of episodes ago, the depth is still going to be needed. Braxton Jones is still one of his biggest flaws is his inability to consistently handle the bull rush. So if you can bring in Karan Amagaje, if you can bring in Jedrick Wills, right? If you can bring in those guys, then it's there. And now it's up to Karan to use this opportunity against Cleveland in the preseason game to show his growth. We weren't even talking about Amagaje. We were talking about him as a potential roster bubble guy coming into training camp. Now he's getting snaps, and he's probably going to start the first preseason game. Make the most of it, young fella. And Jedrick Wills is a guy that's already proven what he can be on the NFL level when healthy, right? So at the end of that, like the physical talent that he presents himself is also going to be somebody who's going to get significant snaps. So, that's all great. And then somewhere in the background of all of this still is Ozzie Trapillo continues to work towards being available earlier than initially expected. The Bears' offensive line room has a chance to have so much quality depth there, and we're going to see how that works out. The biggest question, though, on Sunday at the left tackle position is what does Kieran Amagaje do to protect the edge when somebody wearing a different uniform is attacking him, and we'll get to see that on Saturday, not Sunday, Saturday, right? Then also you look at Ray McCloud made the play of the day reportedly on a pass from Case Keenum. He found him behind the defense for a long touchdown. And hey, shout out to Ray McCloud introducing himself to Chicago Bears fans everywhere. That's really what that is, right? And again, we talk about depth. He doesn't need to be a featured offensive player, but he has speed, he has return ability, and he's a veteran wide receiver depth that can be added to this team also. And those things have value for teams that are at the place where the Chicago Bears are at, trying to make that next step, go further in the playoffs than what they did last year. And that's it. So, that's the takeaways from camp. We also had a number of guys returning from injury as well, which is really good to see. Cam Lewis, looked like he made a return on the sideline as well. Braxton Jones did. So we'll see what happens there. Seems like right now the most significant injuries that we do have is Kobe Bryant, and of course, Kyler Gordon are the most significant injuries that we have there. Things look like they're looking up a little bit for the Chicago Bears. So it's good that we got guys like that back. Cam Lewis came back. Braxton Jones came back. DeMarco Jackson came back on Thursday also. And so it looks like you look at the players that didn't play in practice yesterday: Tyrique Stevenson, William Wright, Terrell Smith, Jaylon Jones, Tony Fields, Luke Newman, and those guys did not play. Oh, Kobe Bryant, of course, and Montez Sweat, they didn't play in yesterday's practice. But that's what you can take away from that. But it is Friday. That means it is mailbag day here at Chicago Bears Central. We're going to go get into these voicemails. We got 5 today to get into. This first one that we got, this one's from CL.
What up, fellas? It's your boy out West CL. Call to check in. Man, it's really bad down around here, man. We losing guys left and right. But the main two we lost so far is Kobe Bryant and now Luther Burton, which I was hoping him and Caleb get on the same page chemistry-wise. So we would definitely miss somebody like him. Hopefully he'll be back before the season start, well, we don't know. But who do you guys expect to step up in the secondary, being that we have a couple of guys down and also that's no longer with the team? If you had to pick a player that you see that would maybe shine by getting that opportunity come the first couple of weeks, let me know who you think. I'm hoping it's Muhammad if he gets the take. On the defensive line now, I just know this kid Jordan Vandenberg, after what I seen Monday, yeah, he's efficient. Garrett and him definitely going to be rotating in and out of the lineup. Linebacker core, I think we're pretty solid at, but that secondary, I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping the defensive end steps up as well, but as far as the secondary, right now I don't really know. I really don't know who's going to be that one that steps up, especially on the rookie side. Just going to be able to help give us something that we need, man. There's something that we're going to need in that Dennis Allen defense. That being said, I'm out West CL. I'm out here.
There have been a lot of injuries for the Chicago Bears, absolutely. But I do think, luckily, at this point, like if you want to look at it, Kobe Bryant and Kyler Gordon seem to be the worst so far. Luther Burden, I know he's going to miss the whole preseason, but it seems like they did that to preserve him being ready, not even to rush him. That way, there's a higher probability he's going to be ready week 1. There's that part of it. And even guys like Kyler Gordon could still be available week 1. We'll see, right, what happens in regards to that. But for your question of who needs to step up, Malik Muhammad, needs to step up. Cam Lewis is going to have to step up once he's healthy in the regular season. And, of course, Xavier Woods, who we just, got brought in here. Like, those guys need to step up along with Jaylon Jones. Everybody's going to have to step up in that defensive back room because of how the importance that it means to Dennis Allen's scheme. Everybody's going to have to step up. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from the 773.
What's going on, Haize, Bobby, and C-Dub? Shout out to the show. I have a quick question I'm going to get you guys' opinion on Caleb Williams losing 15 pounds. Now, obviously, it's been talked about as a good thing, him dropping weight, looking faster, looking more elite. But when you look at some of the hits he took when he was taking off, running on the ground, some of those hard hits, one that comes to mind is against the New York Giants. Not the touchdown when he won the game, but the one before that where he took off and then he got planted into the ground hard by a DB or a linebacker. Do you guys think him being 15 pounds lighter could possibly have some negative side effects, such as being more susceptible, sorry for the mispronunciation, but being more open to getting injured? You know what I mean? Dropping 15 pounds and he already was, athletic, stocky, built, he's fast. What does him dropping another 15 pounds really do for his game. And that's about all. Shout out to the squad. Peace out.
Caleb Williams dropping 15 pounds. Here's the thing. I think that we look at that and automatically think that somehow could make him weaker in a sense, but he could have just been refining body fat. Now, and 15 pounds is going to be more than just body fat, but that's why I say refining body fat. And he could have put on a little bit more muscle in regards to that. Now, muscle weighs more than fat, right? So him losing weight proves that like I said, he either refined or really toned up. So I don't think that necessarily it's a sign that he's not going to be as durable. I get your concern for sure, and I guess we can only see once the games start, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll also be more elusive, if anything. So we already seen him dancing around defenses and stuff like that. So I think that I until proven otherwise, I think we'll be perfectly fine. I think we'll be fine. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from Darius.
What's happening, guys? Old Darius from Dallas, man. I just wanted to real quick just to address all the regression talk. It's everywhere. It's been everywhere all off season. And I understand it to an extent. I do. But my question is this. I get we got a tougher schedule because we got a first place schedule. But I just want to ask this. Who on that schedule can we not keep up with offensively? Is there any team on that schedule where offensively we can't go toe-to-toe? Okay, we've already gone toe-to-toe, proven we can go toe-to-toe with the Rams if it comes down to offense. We've already done that at a high level in the second round of the playoffs. Okay, and that's without the defensive additions that we've had. That's without, and as far as that, like the injuries and all that, like I get it. It's a little cause for concern, but we're going to be just fine. Xavier Woods is going to be just fine. Or he's going to be what Haize like to call serviceable. That old serviceable word that he seems to be obsessed with. He'd be just that. It's not going to, he might not be Brian Dawkins back there, but shit, he'll at least be able to hold it down. Okay. And if we get better production from the defense, which I think we will, we'll see a little bit more of it, Saturday and throughout the preseason, but, at least from what it looks like, we got better defensively. So just based on how we performed on the offensive standpoint last year, not even including the weapons that we've added to this offense that was already top 3 last year, if you ask me, who on our schedule can we not go toe-to-toe with offensively? Who on our schedule that you can say we going up against a quarterback that's for sure better than Caleb Williams? I don't think that's going to be too many games. So I don't know about all this regression talk. I totally disagree with it. I think even with the injuries that we have, I think we're just a better overall team. You got to understand, man, Ben Johnson has a tough training camp. Guys are just going to get injured until we have enough guys that have been on the team and been through multiple camps and their bodies are used to it. I think a lot of these soft tissue injuries is just because Ben Johnson's training camp is hard as hell. So I definitely don't want him to dial it back on that. And until then, we're just going to have some injuries here and there. But we're toughening the mentality of the team in the process, which is going to allow for more guys to step up. That because of the system that Ben Johnson puts in place and what he demands from the players is why a guy like Noshawn Wright stepped in last year and we didn't skip a beat. All right. So y'all just relax on that and let's get ready to, get at least a 12-win season in. I really think we can do it. Well, let me know what you think. Text us up, bear down.
Now, Darius, I'm going to have to hold you accountable, bro. You just had a voicemail 3 voicemail episodes ago, so 3 weeks ago, where you complaining about why Bears fans are worried so much about the national media. Now you're calling in worried about the national media talking about regression and worrying about that. This is why I say, Darius doesn't hold up. Like, Darius just likes to complain. Darius is, you can tell that he's somebody that gets probably nagged a lot, so therefore he has to put that nagging somewhere else, and he does it on other Bears fans. But all jokes aside, there are definitely causes for concern of regression. I think one of those being that how many new faces we have on the defense, and then how one of those new faces in Kobe Bryant is already out for the season, right? So there's thought process in that. There's a reason for it. The Bears' identity was so many takeaways last year, and we lost a lot of the players that got those takeaways. So there's some reason for concern and worry about regression in a way. But like I said, health was a thing. Austin Booker missed 7 games. Grady Jarrett wasn't as healthy. I think we've improved the depth with Neville Gallimore and Jordan Vandenberg potentially as well on that defensive line. I think our linebackers are going to be in a much better situation if they can stay healthy also. So there's a lot of reason also to look at it and say the Bears could definitely improve as well. So we'll see, right? But I also got to say this, Darius. You got to handle your man crushes a little bit better, bro. It's bad enough you try to make Keys your podcast wife. Now you consistently trying to take shots at words that I use, like and trying to get attention and stuff like that. Like it's weird, right? It's really weird because don't make me put you on the Summer Jam screen with that hairline you got, my boy. Don't make me expose that hairline. Matter of fact, it's crazy enough because even Keys has some words for you on the next voicemail. Let's go ahead and get into that now.
Yo, what's the deal, fellas? It's your boy Keys, man. Hope all is well with you guys. With that being said, let's get to it. All right, Haize. So let's correct this right now. You know, our friend and pal Darius, he got a one-track mind. I don't think he fully passed the ACT. But that conversation I had with him was just simple, okay? When I started talking about the DBs and then the injuries that, you know, like, or the injury that Kobe Bryant had, right? And then other things were coming up and all of that. My whole focal point is DB is a position of versatility, just like any other position with linebacker, defensive tackle, all of that, right? My whole thing, too, was, hey, I wouldn't mind putting two rookies on the field in Dylan Thieneman and 24, the other kid that's been going at nickel. Can't think of his name for nothing right now. Malik Muhammad, right? And I said, with the ball skills that Tyrique Stevenson may have, right? Now hear me out. I could see them considering a conversation where some injuries occur and, you know, you may want some things to go this and that. Malik is probably a better press corner than Tyrique, even though Tyrique isn't no slouch, as you know, Haize, and that they may consider for the time being putting Tyrique at that safety spot because he can go get the ball. He can do other things, and then you probably want Malik just on that island, and he has to work through it. I highly doubted that they would make that move, right? And as we've seen now, instead of Malik going at the other corner and we moving Tyrique, he's getting reps at the nickel, okay? Now, to go further into that, and this is all in context of everything, injuries are a part of the game, all right? You play football, I play football, Bobby played, anybody who listened played the game. It's going to happen. The injuries of Luther Burden, Kobe Bryant, Cam Lewis, you know, all those things like that. It happens, all right? And I think we, as a fan base, need to calm down a little bit. A lot of people saying that Ben may need to calm down on this and that. But look, you got to get ready for the season. Long as they're not long-term injuries, and I think every injury we've had, there hasn't been no concussions or nothing like that, we're going to bounce back, and I expect everybody to be back for game one. But let me know what you think. As always, guys, shot count up, bear down.
Keys, you ain't got to explain yourself. Here's the thing about Darius, and this is the thing that I've learned about Darius. Darius is a little slow. He's a little slow, right? Like you said, he has a one-track mind, and the problem is that Darius can't understand multiple things at the same time. It's that Texas education. When you start throwing multi-level things at him, multi-level conversations and situations from him, he can only have one takeaway from it. His brain sticks on that because his brain resets when you throw too much information at him. And then typically he has to come out with an insult after his brain resets because so that way he doesn't look like, oh my God, I don't want them to realize I just completely lost the track of the conversation. That's just where Darius is just a little touched. That's all I'm saying. He's slightly touched. It's just a little touch. And that's just Darius, man. It's just who he is. He's the country slow cousin, but you still gotta love him because he's still family and he's gonna rock with you. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from Fred.
Cognac boys, what it do? What's happening, C-Dub? Bobby. Shout out to Big Kev, Steve-O, and Haize, man. The whole gang, man. Hey, I'm so sick of some of our fans, man. They being so fucking extra and dramatic about the Bears having their stadium built in Hammond. If that's a possibility, they gonna go ahead and go that direction. I'm just like, man, I gotta get this off my chest and I gotta say this. Y'all need to shut the fuck up. Stop acting like some punk ass bitches, man. You got other teams that don't even play in their actual city. They name haven't changed. You got the Commanders who play in Maryland. They're still the Washington Commanders. You even had Kansas City that was playing in, you know what I'm saying, Kansas City, but they finna move back to Kansas. You got the San Francisco 49ers who don't even play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara, California. You got two of the Jets and Giants. They play in New Jersey, but they still are the New York Giants and Jets. It's like Bears fans, like, y'all need to stop tripping. They not going to change their name to the Hammond Bears. They're still going to be the Chicago Bears. Their stadium's just going to be in Hammond, which is not going to be too far. So y'all need to just take y'all panties out y'all asses, get over it. If it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Would I love for them to be in Chicago? Yes, I would love for them to be in Chicago. But apparently, you got a dumbass mayor and you got a dumbass governor who don't want to help the Bears, don't want to give them a break on nothing what the Bears asking for. So the Bears got to pivot and go in another direction on getting their stadium. You got Indiana, who's willing to cut them a tax break, help them with the infrastructure and all that. But Brister and Johnson is not somebody helping the Bears though. So make it make sense. Like, Bears fans, like, sometimes we come together on things, sometimes we don't. All I'm saying is, man, y'all need to shut the hell up, man, and just look, just roll with it. If they move to Hammond, they're still going to be the Chicago Bears. Can y'all please just stop being so extra dramatic? I ain't mean to call y'all bitches, but that's how some of y'all acting. Like y'all too grown for this, man. Like, if they go to Arlington, that's fine. That's good. They go to Arlington. That doesn't mean they're going to be the Arlington Bears. They're still going to be the Chicago Bears. They stadium's just going to be in Arlington, or it's just going to be in Hammond. Whichever it is, I'm just going to be happy that the Bears got their own stadium. Because we're one of the few teams that don't have their own stadium. Y'all should be grateful and happy that we're trying to get our own stadium, man. Let me know what you think, fellas. Chicago up, bet down or nothing.
I got nothing. I got nothing, because you are absolutely right. And while I do think you come out a little bit strong sometimes with the words that you use, I'm not even going to police you on that this time. You got it, because I completely agree with you. And I do think for some Bears fans, it's just constantly overreaction after overreaction. And that's just the way that they live. It's a crazy way to live, but that's how some of them constantly live. And so, that's it, I guess. Like, we'll deal with it where we deal with it. I'll leave it at that, man. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Make sure you guys sound off down below on how you feel about all the topics, the voicemails, the preseason game. Let us know your excitement on all that down below. Make sure you guys follow us or hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell as well so you never miss an episode or a live stream. You can follow us at Shy Bear Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, and we'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.